Original Helldivers. Kinda. Not really, but it's you'll see in a moment. Let's change the audio device so it gets picked up properly. Watch this game just mute the VOD because there's something like the game's just soundtrack is not royalty free or something like that. I don't know. And it's probably a completely unique soundtrack of its own. But I don't know. This game, I've already put 50 hours into. Let's see, everything right, running right. If I change audio device, does it change? Okay. Okay, that's not what we wanted. Can I? Okay. Game does change. Awesome. Game is basically a iterative game, roguelite. I want to say very in the style of Gauntlet. I've already said that word, but like parrot sound, pretty good. Diablo as well, kind of in a way. But yeah, this is a new game +1 run with a wizard. You start off the game, you pick your character. You pick a character from a class. You can give minor visual customizations to them, and then you just go. Your goal is to get into the Dark Citadel, get to the bottom/top. You're descending pretty much the whole time, but you end up on the top of the building, and to defeat the big bad thing there. If you die, you go back to town with like all the stuff you've gathered, lose some of it for having died, and then you go again. You level up from killing things, you find loot, you gear yourself out. And yeah, this run's not going very well because I'm not very strong. I'm trying out like a muscle wizard, which is... I'm doing it wrong, most certainly, but... when I play it's not so nice to look at probably as a stream because I just keep the map open and I just walk along and go to where I need to go. From point to point. I'm gonna try to not do that, but it's gonna be hard because there's secret rooms. And I need to find them, because they have trinkets in them, which are power-ups for the run. Oh yeah, I leveled up. Fully restoring my HP at MP. Maybe we're trying to find it. Let's see if I can find one without, as an example. Right here, okay. If you look at the middle, okay, I'm going to clear the area out of enemies first, and then I'll show you. It's really in the first room. Probably a health restore. Can't really stop at the moment to take a peek. If I stop, they'll kill me. Magic missile, magic missile. Alright. This is the green circle that you see here and everyone there. Our health restores for sure. That's a potion restore, that's a New Game Plus brazier or thing where I can get rid of my shadow curse. But right here, you see this right here? That's... oh, neat. Okay. Okay, hold on. That changes things a bit. Right, now you can't see it on the map, right? If I go close to it, you can see it. It's a crack in the wall. That's a secret room. Apparently you can just pan over them and they will show up on the map if you're zoomed in appropriately. But that's what they look like. They're just 4 pixels of like slightly darker wall if you spot them. It's neat to note that like I can theoretically find them by panning over them. I might do that in the future. See if I can do that in the future and find them. But yeah, what they have in them is a chest. This one's a trinket chest. Sometimes it's a gear chest. Sometimes it's just resources. This one's cursed, so it's going to spawn a bunch of ghosts. It's going to attack me. Because it was cursed, I get to get 2 trinkets out of it. Bring us speed and dragon scale. It's a up to 4 player cooperative game. I guess it's an easy enough I edit to just make it more than 4 players, and that's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is. We haven't tried it. It starts off a lot slower and easier than this, but this is like a 60-hour, like I said, save. This is my last... They're coming out with a DLC soon, actually, where they'll introduce another class. This is my last class to level up, really. Wizard. So I have all these... I'll talk to you now about the iterative parts about it, how it works, because it's a game that is very much just like play everything and do everything and level up everything. There are accomplishments, which are in-game achievements, which are things as simple as do damage. After you do enough damage, you'll get a milestone. You'll get rewarded a skill point that is given to every character that you make ever. And then do so much damage, do so much damage in a single hit, kill enough enemies, score critical hits, so on, so on, so on, so on. There's some that are like interact with certain interactables in a certain amount of times. Some that are, the big ones are, not the big ones, but like the ones that are really inform the whole play every character is reach a certain level with a character class. And that awards permanent stat points for all your characters. Permanent stat points. Some of these award permanent stat points that you can pick on whatever you want. And then there's titles, which is well, I have a level 30 paladin that gives all my characters 90 armor, 3 perk paladin level. These do not stack where like you could just make more and more paladins. You get more and more armor. It's whatever your highest level is of the given class. And the wizard grants spell power. And then based on how much money, wood, stone, and iron you've lost to dying or donating if you get to a certain point, you get permanent bonuses to weapon damage, spell damage, reduced damage taken, things like that. So it really wants you to just keep playing. And it has, from what I understand, actually just infinite new game pluses if you really want to just keep playing forever. But I think we're actually starting to hit the point where we're running out of steam a bit on the game. But we're probably gonna be seeing that DLC as a small revitalization, where they release the new class and new mechanics and modes. But yeah, it's fun. bash box. Sometimes things will fall out of them, like gold or health pickups. I said I was going to try and not just keep the map open the whole time. Because I'm a muscle wizard, my subclass spell is just haste, which just makes you go faster. These little purple orbs grant you passives related to your class's skills. Then you get mid-run. Yep, gotta zoom. Gives me increased attack and cast speed. The problem is that my mana isn't good enough right now to actually just cast, so it's mostly just attack speed for me. I have a modifier. You can get like little modifiers for your runs if you get a certain building, which is what you spend a lot of your resources on, is like building up your town, your buildings. But yeah, one of the buildings is modifiers, and that's why I can see the entire map, because I purchased an upgrade that just lets you see the entire map. For those hidden rooms like that I was mentioning, the secret rooms where you typically can find like a treasure and usually power-ups for the run. Those can show when you're near them, or I guess if you're opening up the actual map and pan over them so that your camera is near them. There's one, I think, actually. This one just had an experience scrolling it, which is a bit underwhelming. I'm not at level cap though yet. Oh yes. The reason why all my characters are at certain levels because the level cap is 20. Every time you beat the game on a given new game, it goes up by 5. So you beat the game once, it goes from 20 to 25. Beat the game on the new game plus, it goes to 25 to 30, I believe. So on and so on. So there's a certain like limit and challenge to actually progressing. Which is again part of why like it's designed in a way that like, oh well, you gotta level everything, because if you don't, you're not gonna have that power. New Game Plus is progressively not only does make enemies hit harder, have more health. I don't even know if they actually hit all that much harder, truthfully. It doesn't feel like they do. I feel like a lot of the way they hit harder is by every New Game Plus, you lose, you're given an armor and resistance malice. And you have to overcome that malice by getting better gear or leveling up a paladin and leveling up. But even leveling up a paladin and leveling up the warlock won't overcome those malices on their own, because the first, you can get 20 levels for the first new game, but 5 levels at 3 points level is not going to overcome 100 loss of armor. But they introduced new mechanics during some of the new games, which give you more powers, which is, and ways to grow, which is neat. Shady merchant, I give him something and I get something in return. These deals all kind of are crap. I'll give him some stone and get a pretty high rarity trinket that's actually pretty good. I said they're all crap, but that deal is actually pretty good. If I cared about my stone, I'd be upset about it, but I don't care that much. That's this level pretty much in a nutshell, so I'm just gonna go back and touch some of these things that I didn't touch to get rid of my shadow curse. Drink these potions, because drinking potions is an accomplishment and touching it well is an accomplishment. These particular floor traps are Shadow Curse floor traps, so I want to make sure I do not get hit by them. Shadow Curse is a debuff that you can interact with and get some like relics that make you get more strength as you get Shadow Curse, which is actually a neat mechanic that has trade-offs. But every single point of Shadow Curse gives you a 3 armor 3 global resist Malice, which is really bad when it adds up. It's ready to see that I don't do a whole lot of damage. I am a wizard using pretty decent armor and a shield and a sword. The shield and the sword is like the highest defensive setup you can get pretty much. Because shields in this game are actually really strong and block a lot from the front. This is my symbol of rejuvenation that I picked up in that level triggering. A lot of different like weapon types, so I kind of rely very heavily on sword and shield for a lot of my characters. It's my go-to. Sometimes shield and dagger, because that's even better defensively, actually. But it is what it is. Oh boy. I do have 3 potions I can use. I'm just kind of trying to be conservative with them, but it may be time to use a shield potion, rather. Nah, I can do this without using anything. Actually, I have 4 potions. Sorry. I don't see the whole UI while I'm playing. But, yeah. Oftentimes I can't see the boss while I'm playing, because I do this and then I'm playing with a bunch of people and it becomes a mess. Things overlapping on things overlapping can become a real mess. And that's this boss. You get 2 trinkets out of killing it, as well as Dragon's Claw, which are good trinkets, and 1 piece of reward otherwise, in this case of Cleansing Heater Shield, which I can't even use because my strength is low. I forgot I'm using an epic hat and an epic shield on my wizard. And now we're in the courts, which is actually where things get like really scary. There are enemies in the courts that just will mutilate you. These lightning wizards that have like their forked, just hold attack can get really nasty. And I think once you play the thick floor, you're gonna start seeing more often enemies that will disarm you and silence you, which is really bad since a lot of people survive by doing damage to the enemy. So far I haven't found a wizard setup that actually restores health on. There's a lot of like setups, classes that have powers that can just like restore health on cast or hit or varying mechanics. Wizard doesn't seem to have a health sustain setup, unfortunately, from what I've seen. But maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. resource chest, ghosts incoming. These ghosts can give you Shadow Curse if they hit you. Symbol of Rejuvenation is actually a really good relic. The symbols is like there's some trinkets that have, I keep saying relic and trinket interchangeably, but there's some that are part of sets, and the symbols set, Symbols of Fate, is, among my friends, generally considered kind of as a set, but this symbol right here is really good. Taking damage when below 50% health drops a green symbol which restores 10% health per second. Symbol has a 5-second duration, 10-second cooldown. Very good stuff. Having to stand in the symbol means that you're in like a really scary situation. It could be useless to you because you can't stand still to eat that symbol up, but you're remotely durable. It'd be really, really, really strong. And once I go back to town from either completing or losing this run, all my trinkets will be washed away, all my power-ups will be washed away. Let's just pan around, see if I can find like the hidden room beforehand. Better to like look around in person. I just want to see if I can find it. See if that's the thing I can actually do. I didn't realize that you could actually do that. I guess it makes sense. It's like I can see the map, so I can see enemies as if like I'm near them. Most floors have at least one hidden room, some have multiple. There's one right there. So I can't totally just see them by panning around. I stand corrected. I told my friend that you have to be close to them, but I guess technically you don't. You do and you don't. It's just grab all the loot, because at the end of the run, every trinket I have becomes like a currency, and all my currency and stuff like that. And it's just more about right now completing the run. My priorities for like runs has shifted from like the beginning of the game to where we are now, but oh, this is rough. Few shadow curses isn't too bad. See the ghosts appear in the wall. Jerks. Alright. Amulet of Health and closed circuits. I'm probably gonna skip by a lot of enemies and just let them follow along, feeling a little more confident. Only killing when I need to stop and interact with something. Oh, making sure I kill everything when I need to stop and interact. Or if I need to like recover and stop being in combat. Oh boy. My shield back, my little circle back. I do have the Headhunter's contract, which is trinket that lets me kill elites and get money, I believe. It's very nice. That is a reason to kill them, as money is one of the most important resources as you get going. You've got to have money. Yeah, this is Heroes of Hammerwatch. I don't think I actually said the title. Shop here where I can pick up 2 relics. Go from a selection. Symbol of Zeal's not bad. 2% chance on crit to drop ransom much because 10 weapons will crit. This one's another good one of the symbol selection. Or Shadow Curse gain is nice. I'm tempted to get the 2 regeneration things, get some 10% increased regeneration though. My mana regeneration is really what I'm doing really good guess. Despite being a muscle wizard, my damage is much greater with if I could just pump out my magic missile infinitely, it would be much better DPS. I cannot though. Little skeleton friends is grab. They're probably going to die very quickly because I'm not any kind of class who can support them and I'm clearly not clearing the field fast. Yeah, little dash, dodge charges, you can see like on my little UI where I have all my stats on the bottom. The green pips represent how often I can dodge, which does not provide iframes, but is a surge of movement that lets you pass through enemies and stuff like that. Oh, I should not grab that immediately. It doesn't matter, I have enough pirates on the map to make up for it. Like, my magic crystals do a lot of damage. They unfortunately take up all of my mana. Which makes me really looking to do the Invoker, or Evoker subclass instead of Muscle Wizard. And that my friend plays. Because its whole shtick is the more you cast spells, the cheaper spells get. Which would really help offset the whole little trick here, which is that the map is a better visual indicator than actually waiting for the fire to go away. On these shadow traps. Muscle Wizard do go real quick though. He is a zoomy boy. Right behind these valuables. Anything else I'm missing on this floor? Resource chest. floor of the course is particularly rough. I'm gonna try and stand in that. That's a trap that I know. Big skeletons with the hammers can disarm me, and some of the little skeletons in the other mages can silence, which is a really nasty combination. In some ways, the levels leading up to like the bosses are a lot worse than the bosses themselves, depending on your setup. I do not know about this game still. I should say, though. My shield does have a shield bash, which stuns. Actually, because it's an epic shield, it puts greater stun. Which is fun. Which gives enemies a chance to drop mana crystals on death, which is really helping with the whole magic missile issue. So take out a little bit ham, but obviously that's not going to do anything on the boss, where the boss doesn't necessarily have ads. More poison damage, shoot acid, but I think I'm going to take the Belt of the Brave, just get more HP. Evasion during haste, or chance to cast. I'm going to get evasion haste. The Wizard has a barrier, but not passive for generating an out-spell cast is really, really good, and I spell cast it nearly as often as I should be. But I don't. So evasion. You remember to keep my eyes open for the hidden rooms because my map eyes aren't open right now. I'd say they usually have secret rooms. They don't always have secret rooms. Sometimes they generate without them. part of what makes the sword and board such a good combination is that the sword has inherently 20% parry chance on it, which is like if an enemy hits you with a melee attack and you're facing them, you have a 20% chance to negate it. And then the shield itself has just straight up blocks up to 50 points of damage from most projectiles in a 180-degree arc. So anything that's shot at you from the front, it just blocks 50 points of that damage. So, and you can also get like modifiers on loot, including shields, which can give them like the deflection trait, giving you even more parry. So sword and board be very, very good for that. Playing very carefully here for crossing this. Oops. I say that. I don't know why I didn't get any Shadow Curse there somehow. I guess my resistance is high enough that I don't always get Shadow Curse when I step across these panels. I don't know if I could really afford to get away with a little bit of Shadow Curse. That blends at the end level, which is probably what I should be doing. I'm obviously not so squishy that I can't handle a few hits from these guys. Vitality Elixir, which is a new game plus mechanic where cursed chests can, which are also a new game plus mechanic, sometimes drop little permanent stat boosts to your character. And one vitality, which is health. Nothing else I really need on this level. Let's go to the boss. As far as I can tell, at least. Progression through the level, like levels are all random, procedurally generated, I guess I should say, but the bosses are all set in stone and progression, more or less. This boss does have ads, which is nice. That thing just shoot out magic missiles constantly. phase where they start to just leave ground fire with their tails. It's actually very dangerous because they like to hug you at the same time. So I should say their bodies, I suppose. Markham's Mace, a very powerful set. Trinket, 2 attack power per trinket in your inventory on the mace itself, and then going to 3 points of mastery is going to be armor and resist per trinket, which is really, really nice. This is where it becomes a mess of things, this war. The Dark Halls are just enemies. It's just enemy and labor span. It's fun time though. Am I level cap yet? I'm not level cap yet. This place gives you tons of experiences. See, every enemy in here, typically, not every enemy, because eventually it does stop. When you kill it, it splits into 2 enemies or more, and then if you kill it, then it splits into 2 or more enemies, and then you kill it. And then there's enemies that just spawn like giant waves out of little portals. Lots of things to kill for tons of experience. They also just like all shit out of like the magic projectiles, elemental projectiles. That can be very, very deadly if you don't have any resists. Because they're projectiles, the shield does a really good job of protecting you from a lot of the damage too. The sheer volume, but also just no lack of mana crystals for me right now. I'm not getting any Shadow Curse from any of this. It's my resistance sign up. I say as I have one Shadow Curse right now. Final purple orb of the game. None of these are gonna help with the boss, really. I could reroll for 5 Shadow Curse. Do I have any? I do have the Pickled Eye and the Decaying Hand. So getting some Shadow Curse wouldn't be the end of the world. Let's get the barrier on spellcast. Like Zero? Inside Hero fighting. Oh, that's, I think it's actually quite loud, isn't it? I realize how loud the game is for you. It's perfectly fine volume for me. Maybe I'll turn down the audio in general. 1 second. That's not enough. Anyway, does this game look like a game you like? you'd want to play? Okay, would you like? All right, good to know. Oh no. Yeah, wonderful. Narg. That's cheeky. He walked into the AoE that I said I couldn't get around him. Get over here. I have enough resist that his like explosion doesn't do a whole lot of damage to me. It's not gonna be a threat to me until the second phase. The ground frost is very damning though. You can't just stand outside in the shadow. There's cheating. Once it's down to like a third of his health, we start doing a really nasty explosion that creates a lot of ground fire. Here it is. Oh, that is nasty. Standing in the ice too. I mean, wait, the sphere can come back around? Complete your run, back to town, get a nice look at all your rewards. Magic missile did way more damage than anything else. though I wasn't using as nearly as I theoretically could have. I kind of like the Muscle Wizard, but it's lacking a little bit in some areas. I'm gonna try out another one of them. I'm gonna try out the Evoker Wizard, but I need to drop off some stuff. Dex gear. I don't think I have any on me. Oh, I do have some on me. Oh, right, I'm a Muscle Wizard, so I can actually just use anything. It's not actually Muscle Wizard, it's called Transmutation. I think. Yeah. Gives you this really nice passive that's just... grants additional strength and dexterity per character level, so I have an extra 1.25 strength and dex per character level. So I can wear pretty much any gear I want right now. That's going to change when I go from Transmutation to... Not Evocation. Evocations are the one I'm probably going to end up on, because that mana cost per stack is disgusting sounding. 8 stacks for minus 4% spellcasting cost per stack. It's just gross. What is that? That's 32? That's only 32%, but that's still a lot. Not wrong. Am I wrong? I don't think it is. I want to try out Conjuration though. See if it's got like a good secret rare passive that's worth using. Suddenly, I can no longer use all the gear I have in my inventory. There's one really good advantage of the Muscle Wizard. It's the ability to just use anything you want. Minus 15% spell mana cost is nice for a hat. It's particularly a wizard hat. But I'm wearing this epic hat that gives me immunity weakness. Armor loss wouldn't be huge. I do have a nice cast speed from this, which doesn't mean as much as spell crit damage, probably. Spell mana cost could actually be really huge. I might actually just wear a non-epic hat after that. Minus 5% damage taken versus 8% move speed is really the difference here, along with a bunch of eye levels, but eye levels can be made up for. Less damage taken is nice. I like move going fast. More than I should, perhaps. Also, the wizard hat is quite a wizard hat. Probably should level up the hide a bit more. It's fine. I have a lot of stats to put in here. That thing does attack very rapidly. Oh, I can't use my weapons right now. Yikes. Ooh, okay. I could just dump all my stat points in there and get there. Feels like a bit of a mistake to do that, but probably should have just kept my stat spread even, then changed to lower weapons, but we'll see. Going into game +2, Blessing of Swiftness. I'm a fan of Swiftness too much. It's sick. So These don't seem that great. This seems kind of crap too, to be honest. I think produce spell cooldowns is the best call here. Fan of Farsight. Let's assume a friend's going to join at some point, because it's very friendly towards drop in, drop out. Well, not that friendly, okay. There's actually some things that make it very unfriendly to drop in, drop out. But the game is technically very drop in, drop out friendly. Gentle Traps is a good modifier too. It's actually kind of bonkers. I'm not gonna go for safe corridors, but towers are destroyed. I don't know what towers are relative to this. Cost me to go in with all these benefits. Cost me 10,000 gold, 16 wood, and 25 ore. Or stone. I'll largely skip by most of the enemies. In favor of just getting what's valuable. The problem with the Hydras is that, from what I've been able to tell, you can only have 5 at a time. So getting cooldown reduction on them means nothing. You can only ever have 5 at a time. So if I get the benefit that gives me more Hydras per cast, I literally can just put down one thing of Hydras. It's probably a good reason why I can only ever have 5, but feels kind of weak. Get the animated sword flame. See how that is. How does this class doesn't seem that bad? This subclass, I should say. I do like summons in video games. Just think it's not necessarily good enough. Maybe I'm undervaluing the Hydras. protect me while I get my things minions. In true single player, the game pauses when you go into this menu, but since I'm technically online, it won't. Not that counts, since I technically chose to host. It's not really like, oh, well, you're online, so it's online. It's, you choose to host or place to play. Let's see what this deal. I just do machine gun that fire out. I wonder if the ice would actually be really good on them. Or maybe that's just like later for if you want to be an ice wizard specifically. There are, like, you know, gear, there are pieces of gear like benefits to specific damage type, things like that, so there's reason to be an ice wizard. There's my purple orb. I want to get a gander at that before I head off, and I'm going to have to head off very shortly to get food. They body block. That's interesting. See what frost hydras are like. Is there any significant value to having frost hydras instead of fire hydras? The projectile type does change a little. I'm not sure if that's that significant. Hypnotic Flute is very good. The set in particular is very good. Then again, this is just a pure gain of passive, so grab that. Anyway, yeah, I need to go eat some food. So that's gonna be it for me today. Thanks for watching hanging out.